I'm just heading along from Lyme Regis today, fossil collecting along the Jurassic coast, and I found this lovely Cretaceous fossil sea urchin, and I'm going to make my way up the beach looking for fossils, see what I can find today, and it should be quite a good day as it's quite rough. It's Christmas Day 2021, and I wish you all a happy new year 2022, and I hope you keep following and subscribing to this channel and watch what I find on my fossil trip along the Jurassic coast. The sea's quite rough and it's getting quite wet as well. I'm standing here pondering what the next fossil could actually be about, and you can see here Landslide, where the water is running through it, a bit of groundwater coming down through the landslide onto the beach, and I've got just here something that looks to me like it is, by turning it over, a fossil sponge from the Cretaceous age. Funny looking thing on the beach. What a rainy day to head out along the coast to look for fossils. It's absolutely pouring down on this Christmas day, and I'm going to show you an area out towards the slabs where you can see these really large ammonites on this limestone platforms that they got fossilized on, and we'll show you the size of those ammonites. Really big fossils from the Jurassic age, really nice to go and see. And on the way I'm going to see what we can find too at the low tide, so follow me. Ahead here you can see some nice lime bay agate here in this piece of the chert bed that's made of sponge spicules, that particular rock from the Cretaceous. And as I turn over, yeah, that's a really nice bit of the Calcite, the lime bay agate, a really big chunky bit there. It's a nice area to view with that area of water coming down out of the green sand rock. And you can see up ahead here a lot more areas where water is coming down onto the beach. The water table will be rising a lot lately with all this rain we've got today, Christmas Day. I'm trying to get along to an area called the Slabs to show you the lovely ammonites up there, sort of place just to go and view. I like to look at those ammonites, it's there for all to see, and we'll get there very shortly. An area called the Slabs. You can see this large ammonite preserved on the limestone platform here. This is a foolish thing someone's done. They've tried to pick away at this ammonite and get it out, and that's just going to do it no good at all. We don't want that to erode away at a rate of knots. It already is eroding away with the attrition of the sand and sea, and it's a shame some person's done that. These are here for everyone to see on the Jurassic coast. So follow me down along this stretch. Nice ones here. You can see the scale with my hand and some of the chambers of the creature. Quite a good one here. You can see the chambers that are filled with water or gas to give it its buoyancy in the sea. You can see the calcite preservation on this ammonite, well preserved fossil ammonites. Have a look at this one up here. This is really beautifully preserved on this limestone platform. You can see the sea will probably come and take this chunk away and rip that off, but it'll be here for long enough for a lot of people to see, which is the main thing with these fossils, for everyone to see the prehistoric past along the Jurassic coast. What a rainy day, really awfully rainy day here, and we're still out on it, and you can just see how absolutely soaked I am. So I do like coming to this area, but God, I don't know what I'm doing out here at this juncture with the rain really coming in this afternoon. Oh, that's very nice, isn't it? A little pebble there, an eroded pebble of the green sand with those gastropod fossils on, preserved in that green sand rock. So yeah, that's a nice piece. You can just see the water-worn ones on the back that gave me the idea there might be some on the other side, and the kind of thing that I haven't met along here, just these eroded bits at low tide. Well, the light is really fading fast here along the Jurassic coast, so I'm going to head back for home, and I'll get you some nice fossil collecting tips to help you look for fossils along the beaches near Lyme Regis, and I'll show you those in a bit at the end of the video. So keep on following this video, and I'll just get myself back out of this real darkness and back home to Lyme. So when I get back to Lyme, I'll get you some fossil collecting tips, and that will help you in your endeavours when you're down here in the winter months at low tide. You must stay away from the dangerous cliffs. They are liable to fall suddenly and without warning, and obey the fossil collecting code of conduct. But stay with me now as I show you what to look for along the Jurassic coast. What a difference a day makes. It's Boxing Day now. I was absolutely wet through, so I had to really bail out of yesterday, and so some top tips with the fossil finds, what to look for on this stretch of the coastline. The belemnites, that's the plastic model of a belemnite there. Show everyone on my fossil walks what these are particularly about. So the tail end of that sea creature from the Jurassic age, a squid-like creature protruding out of the end there, sort of squid games going around through the seas. That particular belemnite was, and they nicknamed them thunderbolts years ago. Then on the Jurassic coast, looking in gullies and then in rock pools, look for the little backbones of the ancient marine creature called the ichthyosaur. It grew up to 60 feet, swam as fast as tuna fish, and ate anything that moved. And there's a rostrum of that creature, and ground down by the attrition of the sand and sea. You can see the gnarled teeth in that rostrum there. Also too, bone, when you're looking for that on the Jurassic coast. Look at the Hervasian canals, the honeycomb effect, where the blood vessels were in that piece of bone, and it's quite heavy too, so you'll know and recognize a piece of bone from the weight. It's got a lot of pyrite formation in that, a lot of pyrite preservation. Also preserved in the iron pyrites. Look on that side, a glob of iron pyrites, turn it over. Sometimes you find those in the iron pyrites fields, the lovely little perfect ammonites preserved in fool's gold. And then fossil wood, monkey puzzle tree, got into the deep sea marine environment, fell to the sea floor, and then fossilized. And you find branches of that with cones on. Also too, when you look along the coast, some of the small little rocks have these lovely ammonites preserved in calcite. The ones there in the thin grey layered limestone rocks. And you can break those out with a small hammer. You don't have to go hitting willy-nilly, breaking rocks, knocking rocks into the next century. You need to know the right rocks for starters, and that's one of the little grey limestone rocks. Some have the lovely coloration left on the outside of the shell, the mother of pearl. That's a beautiful little piece of an ammonite there. And then also too, oyster shells. It would have sat there filter feeding on the sea floor like so. One of the devil's toenails, they called those, with myth and legend back along. And then one of the obvious ones that a lot of people find are the ones preserved in the beef rock. There were little beef calcite ammonites there. Also too, crinoids, you can find those protruding out of the mud like so, and then when you tip them over, sometimes you can wash them up and they have the lovely little stems and ossicles. That's a little piece of crinoid cup there. A little piece of the dinosaur dung, the fossil poo, probably an ichthyosaur coprolite that one is, and you can see the little scales washed up in that piece there. The last meal it had was probably a dipedium fish. And then from the Cretaceous age, some fossils here. A fossil sea urchin like I found on the walk yesterday in all that rain. I was so lucky to find that sea urchin. That did make my day on Christmas Day. And here we are on Boxing Day looking at all these fossils. A fossil sponge, a flowerhead sponge. You can really see that sponge and what it looks like there. So we're over at Black Ven here today looking at fossil finding on the coast. And Black Ven is actually quite busy today. Another little gastropod fossil there. The last one I forgot to show you. Those were little shells on the seafloor, and that's been fossilized in limestone, that particular fossil there. So what a lovely day Boxing Day's turned out to be. You can see right down there to Golden Cap in the distance. The Golden Cap, you can see that peaked cap, the highest point on the south coast, 191 meters, and the National Trust were digging up there at one point, and they worked out from these Bronze Age man barrows that they were digging in that when he was up there 4,000 years ago, it was a heavily wooded land, a mile and a half out to the sea. So you can imagine all the erosion that's gone on along here. And as long as you don't dig in the cliffs in situ, you're allowed to take the fossils that wash out of the mudslides onto the shoreline at low tide. And you must register key scientifically important fossil finds like insects. And the place you take those to register is just down there in the valley. That's Charmouth. There's a heritage centre down there, and you must put key scientifically important fossil finds on that database that they have there. And a young chap called Rory, many years ago now, found a stick insect on our fossil walk when we take guided fossil walks out. Found a stick insect that turned out to be the second one in the world of its type, and it's a really nice fossil that he found, very intricate pattern. So if you look over here, here's the 2008 large Lyme Regis landslide. The sun's just about to go down there in the distance, and that's quite a few people out there. You can see down on the 2008 landslide all having a look for some fossils.